Hey guys, Dennis here, Muddy Water Search and Recovery with
Proceed again.
And it's our normal weekly live feed. And please send any questions that you had, throw them in the comment section. We will get those answered. And we hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving.
Excuse me. Sorry, that was bothering me.
Oh. So we'll give it a minute to let some others jump on here. Dan, how you doing? How you feeling? Hope you're feeling better. See, Dan had a case of the flu.
I saw that.
And I want to give a shout out to Kansas Missing and Unsolved real quick. These guys are doing excellent work. I actually have a link to their Facebook podcast down in the description with a ton of other links. But check them out. Through them, that's how I got the case for Haley Shell. And we just done a video not 45 minutes ago that Haley was found safe. Her case shows us why it is so important that these cases get as much exposure as possible, because Haley was missing from Gassville, Arkansas. But thanks to a concerned citizen in Chicago, Illinois, they got information to law enforcement where she is, and they were able to find her in Chicago. And that was all due to a citizen who was aware of the case, contacted law enforcement, said, "We seen her over here," and she was found safe. So with that, please be sharing these cases. And you don't have to share our videos. Get their missing persons flyers, etc., and get those shared, because that does make a difference. And this case is just prime example of that making the difference.
How old was Haley?
Haley was 15.
Or is 15.
Is 15.
Sorry.
And she's the one, she left a note for her family that she basically was going to make them proud and show she can make it on her own, and left.
Okay.
But thankfully she was found safe, unharmed, and
God, she made it pretty far.
yeah. And Dan, I'm glad you're feeling better. How's it going, Damien? And again, thank you guys for being on here with us. Many of you are on all of our live feeds. Many of you are in constant contact with us, sharing information, working on cases. And again, thank you, Dan. You have been incredible when it comes to that. And I have my notes out here in front of us. I'm dumbfounded on the missing cases so far this year. Absolutely. I was going through numbers today, Dan. We've been doing this for around 9 months at this point. We have already worked on 194 cases. Out of the 194 cases we've worked on, 116 of those have been solved, and 76 of those have been located alive and are safe. And 194 cases that we've worked on in just 9 months' time.
Yeah.
And I have more that has come in that we will be getting out to you guys in the next couple days. But when you go on and you just like Google search missing people in the United States of America, the numbers are just incredible how many people are missing. But I want to kind of go into something real quick. I had a situation happen where an individual was asking me if another person had contacted us and shared information and was trying to dispute anything that person may have said. I let this person know, and I'm going to let everybody else know again. We do not release the names of anybody who contacts us with information on any case. There is only two ways we will release a name. Number one, if that person gives us permission to do so. If we do not have their permission, then the only way a name will get released is with law enforcement bringing a court order for us to release that. We will never release anybody's name unless it's one of those two scenarios,
Right.
with permission or a court order.
Right.
And that one turned into basically a threat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, threats are no threats. We're going to follow every lead and do everything in our capabilities to help these families find answers, period. I heard Jennifer found a way to try to get the case reopened. Dan, yes. Indiana passed a law that went into effect on July 1st that family can take a case that's like a missing persons case, a deceased case, even a closed case, to the state police, fill out the paperwork for the state police to reopen that and reinvestigate. And Jennifer informed me that she is filling out the paperwork and taking that into them on Monday to get them to reopen this case.
Good. So she didn't know about that until
No,
just recently?
She just recently
wow.
knew about that. And that's because I believe somebody else had contacted her and let her know about that.
Right.
Which is another reason teamwork is so vital on these cases, because Jennifer and us, we might never have knew that.
Right.
So hopefully the state police will pick this case up, get it reopened, and get the truth out.
Wow.
And so let's go ahead and talk about some of these cases. And let's go ahead with Alex. On Alex, I believe we have found enough proof to show that he did not commit suicide. But we are going to be doing a ballistics test, and we'll be using ballistics gel to do this. And we are going to film the test and share it with you guys. And this is simply to show the size of the entry hole and the exit hole with a standard 9mm. So we will be doing that very soon and hoping that helps to determine this as well. And also, there is a GoFundMe set up for that case to help get that case reopened. And the link to that is in the descriptions. So if there's anybody who can, please support that family and help them get this reopened.
Absolutely.
From there, let's go to a case that's very similar. And Aaron Shane Key.
Yeah.
We're finding several similar cases in that area. And this is the same area as Joshua Bohannon and Caitlin Ledbetter. If you know of any cases with any details that are similar in that same area, please reach out to us with that information. I feel a lot of these may be tied in particular with people who may be involved. cover-ups, corruption, etc. So we need as many cases from that area as possible to see if they tie together.
Hi, Catfish.
How you doing,
Hi.
Catfish? And because I'm 100% convinced Aaron's case also is not a suicide. And there is a petition that we're asking you guys to sign to help get this case reopened. That petition is also down in the description. Please check it out and sign the petition to help get this case reopened. But there's just too many cases that are so similar, same involvement for this, in my opinion, to be coincidence. I hope it's
No.
just coincidence,
It's the
but
Bermuda Triangle of Tennessee, I swear.
Exactly.
it blew my
Right.
mind on the suicide rates in that county that should have raised red flags.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, Dan. And then the fact that it's been proven that 44% of what they call suicides in the state of Tennessee end up not being suicides at all. They use a multiple choice questionnaire basically when they do an autopsy, and they try to use the one size fits all method on this, and that does not work.
And isn't it right that you do not have to go to school? You just, as long as you have your high school diploma, you can be a medical examiner down there.
Yeah, and that is, a high school diploma and no felonies. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
And that in itself is very concerning.
Yeah. A little bit.
And that whole system needs changed. I mean, that may have worked back in the 70s.
I mean, even that, I mean, seriously?
With the advancements that they have today, that system's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In Michaela Nelson, I just done the case layout on her. She's in the Ohio National Guard. Her mom died of cancer a month before Michaela disappeared. The family believes she's alive. She may possibly be hiding, but we are still digging into that, hoping we could help find Michaela and bring her home safe.
Dan just wrote another remark.
Just reading the autopsy report shows he was dead before he was hung. Yes, it does. There is obvious signs missing, such as blood pooling, etc. The fact that there's nothing broken in his neck,
Right.
Nothing crushed, no visible damage. You know, he's 245 pounds.
And he's what,
He was a big boy.
6'4",
6'6",
6'6", or something like that.
Big boy.
He's a big boy.
He would have had rope burns that would have cut in, and none of that was there. A faint purple mark, yes. And that's obviously not enough to say, somebody passed away by hanging.
Right. I mean, I'm assuming the size he was and the height he was, there was no way that rope was going to get around his neck the length it was anyway.
And
Well,
Lisa, if you see this, correct me if you're wrong. But
if you're wrong.
Lisa went to the area, and a lot of the rope was left hanging. Law enforcement left it where it was, along with his blood-soaked hat. But she went and stood there, and judging by the measurements on the piece of rope that they did take with them, she tested it herself to see if he would have hung there. She's 5'8", and she was on tiptoe, and the rope would have connected. He was 6'6". He would have been flat-footed, so he could not have hung himself.
No. They tried, didn't they? They really tried.
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody was holding his legs.
True, somebody could have. She brings up a good point. She said somebody could have been holding his legs, but then he's going to put up a fight and you're going to have the rope burns.
Right.
And
But like Dan said, he was dead before he was hung.
yes.
So,
My personal opinion, and we will get into all of that on a later video. I believe he was murdered likely in the house and then brought out here to be staged like a suicide.
let's say, because that was too odd. The whole room to be clean and smelling of
Yeah.
bleach.
Yeah,
That's,
just his bedroom had been
Yeah.
cleaned and smelled of bleach. And I want to jump on the Randy Leach case real quick to clear something up. I've had a lot of people asking me about this. The property that we mentioned to you that our hands are tied on, I do want to be clear that it is not the Bishop property. I would still like to talk with the Bishops to see if we could get permission to go ahead and clear their property. But the property that we're tied up on at the moment, that is not the Bishop property.
Yeah.
And Dan said Aaron's feet would have touched the ground. Yeah, absolutely. In some of the upcoming videos we have a couple new case layouts that's coming out the next 2 days, but we're going to be doing another video on Aaron Keys, Alonzo Brooks, Summer Wells, Linda Dillard, and then the ballistics test on the Alex VanDalsen case. And I kind of mentioned it, but this coming year, I do plan to do I guess it would be a mini road trip. And there are several states that have cases that we do plan to search. And just to give you a list of the states that I definitely want to get to this year, obviously Kansas and Missouri has multiple cases we will be searching. Nebraska has 2 cases we want to search, 2 in Indiana, 2 in Oklahoma, 1 in Arkansas, 3 in Tennessee, 2 in Colorado. But Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, and Tennessee, for me, are definites. And then after that will be 1 road trip. After that, we will be going to Nebraska on the Linda Dillard case and possibly the second case there. We're not going to release dates or anything like that, just a safety precaution being that, one of those states has a case that a threat actually come from. So we won't be releasing when we're going to be there, but we're going to be filming and we will be sharing that with you as soon as possible. So not all of these states are guaranteed this year, but Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, and Tennessee, I could pretty much say are, as well as Nebraska. Nebraska is basically a day trip for us.
Yeah.
For where these cases are.
excuse me.
And Megan,
Yes.
want to give another rundown on yourself?
Our Black Friday sale for Crooked Trail Designs is still going right now. It's since tomorrow's Monday, it's turned into the Cyber Monday sale. It ends at 12:01 Tuesday morning, and that's it's still 50% off all merchandise. And I cannot remember when this right here. Was it
January 1st.
And from now until January 1st, For every $50 that you spend, you will receive a free Muddy Waters t-shirt.
And the Muddy Water Search and Recovery t-shirts right now are only $5 while the Cyber Monday sale is taking place.
$5.
And the link to the website and the coupon code is down in the descriptions. And the podcast that we have, our new podcast, I still have to get the new episodes added. I've got 2 or 3 episodes on there right now. But Lisa, Aaron Key's mom, will be joining me on an episode on there very soon. I let Dan know. Dan's been working this case as well, that I would like him to join us on that episode as well. And anybody who would like to join us on an episode to discuss a case or anything like that, let me know. Let me know what topic you want to discuss, and we will work together to get that set up. But several have asked for a link to the podcast. That is also down in the descriptions. So please go support us on that. You'll be hearing some different things on the podcast than what's on here. And we also talk hunting and fishing and outdoor stuff on the podcast as well. We kind of linked those. And we have a second YouTube channel that it'll either be uploaded late spring, early summer, and that one is just going to be hunting and fishing. So this podcast, it's kind of covering both sides of that. And someone like Catfish Bob, I'd love to have Catfish Bob on there and talk catfishing with us.
That'll be all day.
But going back to like the Haley Shell case, just how public that case had gotten so quick and the difference that made, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos, find missing persons flyers, like those, share those, get all of these cases out in the public eye as much as we can, because Haley's case is proof that it does work.
Oh, yeah.
And I've already mentioned that 116 cases out of 194 that we have worked on have been solved, with 76 of them having been located alive and safe. And I mean, that's exciting to me. 9 months time, 194 cases, 116 cases are solved.
Right.
I mean, I want everybody found that's lost. But when you look at these numbers, what are these numbers going to be 5 years from now?
Right.
So it's exciting to know that 116 people right here got the answers that they were looking for.
Yep. That's my favorite part.
And we've mentioned this before. We are now starting to plan out a 2022 event for this coming summer. It's kind of a meet and greet, but we're going to have vendors there, food vendors, some speakers, and just have a good time with it. It'll be a weekend event. And we will be doing some filming at this event for those of you who won't be able to attend due to distance, etc. But I wanted to ask you guys, even those who won't be able to attend in person, what would you like to see at this type of event? What subjects would you like the speakers to cover? And what other teams out there would you like us to invite to this to try to get them to come in for a meet and greet? So if you can kind of give me some feedback on those, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And we did have another donation to our GoFundMe, and I want to say thank you very much for that. That will be used towards our Randy Leach searches, and that is very, very much appreciated. And for anybody who's wanting to donate, our GoFundMe link is in the descriptions. 100% of that goes into our efforts, and you can let us know what you want that used for, and we will be able to show you exactly where that money goes. But we have a lot of links down in the description, so please take the time to check those out. And I've done most of the talking, so I'm going to turn it over to these two for a bit.
I really
I don't know what
don't.
you're talking
You
about.
covered everything. I mean, I'm just listening to you.
We really need to figure a way to get schools back into the stranger danger teachings. Yes, we do, Dan.
It's not just schools. I think parents need to do it too. I mean, that's where we first learned it was our parents. So,
Going up.
Dennis, that would be in Leaven County for the meet and greet. It will probably be in Kansas City. We're still trying to finalize the location, but we're looking at Kansas City, we're looking at Topeka, and we are looking at Leavenworth. So we will announce that soon, but it's going to be somewhere in that area. And Damien, yes, that needs to be taught everywhere, stranger danger.
Going kind of along that line, you know how schools have their tornado drills and fire drills and all that stuff. Our kids came and told us that they have
Active shooter.
like active shooter drills and like people coming in, just people walking into the school where these kids have to learn to hide under their desks and stay quiet and lock themselves in the classroom. And that it breaks my heart that, yes, it's a good thing that they know how to do this, but at the same time, it's like they shouldn't have to. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Times have changed, people have changed, and unfortunately not for the better.
when I was in the school, we didn't have any of that.
No.
I mean, I went to Leavenworth, so that itself was bad enough. I'm telling you. We had a bomb threat one time when I was a senior in school, I think.
Catfish Bob says, is Dennis or the girls going to teach me how to catch those little catfish? Catfish Bob, we're hoping you can teach us how to catch the big ones.
We had a bomb threat one time. That was about the excitement. Never came true. It wasn't, it was just a threat, but yeah, never had any of that kind of stuff when I was in school.
I know in middle school, we had a threat where somebody brought a gun to school, which it turned out to be a water pistol. That was about the extent of ours.
Did you ever have any of that stuff happen?
We had earthquake drills when I was in school. And this is in Missouri.
Yeah.
Climb under our desks and take cover. Which there's been small earthquakes around where there's been a couple times we felt a little shake, but I don't know about having to do those drills in school.
No, we never had to do those.
No.
I guess they got replaced with the active shooter drill.
Yeah.
Just takes the stupidity of
So Damien said I as well had one in school.
What'd you have in school, Damien? Anyway, what was I talking about? Now I can't remember. Thanks, Damien. Now I can't remember what I was talking about.
She's gonna blame Damien, but
Yeah,
the truth
I'm
is
blaming
she's getting
Damien.
old.
Just kidding. Anything else, guys? Oh, bomb threats.
Bomb threat, yeah.
I see. So how much money has been raised for Alex's GoFundMe so far?
Right now, it's at $205.
That's awesome.
And that will go a long ways in helping her get this case reopened.
Right.
Needs to be.
And something I've learned talking with Jennifer, who is Alex's mom, and Lisa, which is Shane, or I keep calling him by his middle name, Aaron's mom. These ladies aren't just mothers who don't want to accept that suicide may have happened. They are very open to accepting that had that been the case. They've read between the lines and seen that these are not suicide, and they're actually taking steps to get these cases reopened.
I just want to know the connection.
Yes.
There has to be some kind of connection to half of these because this is ridiculous.
And
How much will it take to get the case reopened?
Oh, I don't know.
that I'm not sure.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if the state police step in on Alex's case, that will hopefully eliminate a lot of the cost for the family, but there will still be money having to be paid on that.
Right. Wow.
And if you have any questions on any of the cases we're working on, please drop those in the comments and we will get those answered. Just made fun of her for getting old. I just thought of something and lost it as quick as I thought of it.
That's what he gets. Yeah.
Well, when we do a live feed, we're not all supposed to be speechless.
I know.
But we are continuing to work on these cases. We will continue to do so. While I don't like giving property locations that we're going to search, Alex VanDalsen's case, we will be doing some searches for a discarded firearm. I still believe a second firearm was used in that case. I'm still convinced it was a 45 used and not a 9mm. So we will be doing some searches to see if we can locate a discarded firearm. And I would still like, while we're in Tennessee, I would still like to swing over and do some searches on Summer Wells' case. That case still, it baffles me.
Like I've said it before, Mom knows where she's at. So that's all I'm going to say about it, because it's going to really pee me off. It's going to tick me off to the point where I'm going to start hollering and screaming and saying bad words, because that just, yeah. So
with that, then guys, we're going to go ahead and cut this one off a little short.
You got through everything so quick.
Trafficking, Dan, that's along the lines of where I'm going with it. But part of me believes a family member knows, maybe not the name of who took her, but knows what happened.
Yep. Big time.
And Alex's case is just so disturbing. Yes, it is.
Yeah, me and Damien, we've talked about Alex's case. And it's very disturbing.
And Damien, go in and watch the videos on Aaron's case and get a hold of me and let me know any inconsistencies that you find, and anything that you see that may link them, because I am seeing a lot, not so much that links the two cases, but just how the whole layout is being ruled a suicide versus evidence that it's not. Just let me know what you're picking up. Would be crazy if Rose took Summer to protect her. That is also another possibility I'm looking at. But with that,
She wants to know who Rose is.
I believe that's the grandmother.
Isn't that the grandmother,
okay.
Dan? I think it is.
That's what I thought.
But there is a chance that somebody would have taken her to protect her. But then,
Or somebody's holding her for ransom.
because if they took her to protect her, then it's, they took her, but they left the boys in the house, and no, the other missing family member. That's right.
Oh, wow. The aunt.
Hasn't she been missing for a lot longer?
The
than
aunt's
that?
actually been missing for quite a while, though.
So wasn't that like in 2008?
Yeah, I think that. Let me grab grab Summerwell's file out.
Yeah, that would have been Summer's aunt.
Yeah, I knew there was somebody else missing, but
Right.
She's grabbing the file real quick, and we're gonna go through that. In all of these cases are heartbreaking, but when it involves a little kid like that, it just
Yeah.
just give us a second. I can't find it.
it should be on the-
Yeah, my theory
see
is
if there's something on the end on that.
I know that her mom knows where she's at. Right here.
There it is. Yeah, she's been missing since 2009 from Wisconsin.
So she wasn't even in the
I
area.
don't even think someone was born yet, was she?
In law enforcement,
No, she's only 5.
law enforcement had come out and said they don't believe the two cases are related. But when you look at some of these cases, and not law enforcement, please don't think that we're against all law enforcement, because there's good law enforcement out there. But when we look at some of these cases, it's very hard to take their word over actual facts. But according to law enforcement, the cases are not related.
The last few cases, though, with law enforcement, though, is starting to get on my nerves simply because it's the same crap that they're doing. They're all like just not following protocol like they should. And I'm getting really sick of it. Why? So, yeah. It's.
Seeing like we're going to be doing the water search for Billy Bob and Mary Lou Black out of Atchison, Kansas coming up. This one doesn't have me worried on the law enforcement side, because law enforcement in Atchison seem to be very, very thankful for outside teams volunteering to look for missing people. Because ultimately we all have the same goal, and that is to find answers for these families that are hurting, bring these missing people home. And Adventures of Purpose worked on this case, and they just had on their videos, you could see just a tremendous interaction with law enforcement there. And I'm kind of looking forward to working with them. And granted, no law enforcement agency is going to come out and say they give a volunteer team permission to do this simply because of liability reasons.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always mean they're not thankful for teams doing this. And Damien says he's going to watch the Aaron case here in a few minutes. Well, after you've watched them, a couple of those go pretty long. After you've watched those, get a hold of me. Kansas missing.
Oh.
Hey, Ricky,
Hey,
how's it
guys.
going,
Hey.
man? Ricky is from Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Are you planning on doing a search for Kenny Ritchek? Absolutely. I am still starting to narrow down the areas that we want to search. And as soon as I start getting a date in mind to be able to be out there, I will get in contact with you and keep you in the loop on that.
Hey, Raven.
I believe Ricky actually knew Kenny. But we will definitely keep you in the loop on that.
Kenny was that older gentleman, right?
Yes.
You just got so many.
And Bobby, let's all pray that more loved ones will be found and brought back home. Absolutely.
And you're very welcome, Raven. You see, cute little hearts.
Leave it to you
Yep.
to see the hearts first.
Yep.
But in fact, will you grab Kenny's file? Because Kenny's case was another one that, it tugs the hearts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis. Yes, I knew him casually. I used to visit with him when he was playing pinball and video games at the gas stations back in the day when I was a teenager. And Ricky, just the love of outpouring I've seen towards Kenny tells me that this man was a good man. And Kenny is missing from Salina, Kansas since November 4th, 2019. He was 69 years old at the time of his disappearance. He suffers from diminished mental health capabilities, is on disability, but has not tried to access his funds since he was last seen. He's lived in Salina for years and may have family in Northwest Kansas.
Baby.
And this one, we will definitely be out searching for him, and we'll definitely keep you in the loop on that. I've got 3 or 4 locations right now that I want to search, and it's going to be going with what we feel is most probable on those, and a couple other locations I'm looking at as possibilities that we may search. And Bobby, I haven't been able to find any more on the Randy Leach case either. This one, we have locations we're going to be searching for Randy very soon, including the property that my personal opinion, Randy is actually on. And I'm waiting for ground penetrating radar on that. So as soon as I have the ground penetrating radar, we will be searching. But there's a few other places we want to search as well to clear and to make sure. And we will be doing those soon as well. And we'll be bringing you along on those. Ricky, I've got some ideas on where to search for Kenny as well. Awesome, Ricky. We're going to have to get in contact and go over the areas. And then we will get to work on getting a time set up that we can be out there and get these searches done. Kenny needs to be found.
Yeah. We're not paying attention to the dog, so he's making darn sure that we do now.
He gets jealous. You going to say hi? You going to say hi?
He just wants pets.
And guys, I do have the link to Kansas Missing and Unsolved, their Facebook page where they do their live podcasts. That is down in the description. So please go over and check them out. Just some of the nicest people, big-hearted people that I've got to meet. I'm very thankful that we did come across each other, and just very good people doing very good things over there. So please go over and give them some support and love and follow them. And I promise you, you will not be let down. And Ricky, I've missed your last few podcasts. We've been swamped here recently, but I'm looking forward to jumping on and watching your upcoming podcast. Dan, yes, they are. I'm in their group. And Dan, I love these guys, just incredible people.
You see Ravens. I gave my fiance's stepmoms y'all's page to watch all the videos on Alex to get her point of view. And she agrees with us that an outsider with everything we are saying. As an outsider. I'm sorry. With everything that we are saying, she is sick over it. See? Yep. Thanks for that, Raven.
Yes.
Appreciate it, honey.
And I've talked with people at work. I've talked with friends about it that knew nothing about the case. And as I explained it out to them, they are also just flat out, there's no way that's a suicide. Nothing points to that.
No, there's no way. No.
Hopefully the state police will get in on this and get this reopened and get the actual truth out. And Jennifer, if they don't, or if they say they do and it still doesn't match up, we're with you and we'll continue to do everything we can to help you get these answers out. And Ricky says, Kansas Missing and Unsolved. We actually did one last night. My work schedule conflicted with Tuesday night because of Thanksgiving. Well, Ricky, I'm going to go back in this evening and watch the one from last night. They are hunters and gun pros. She is baffled about the reports. Yes. And I've spoken with I can't even think of the words now. I've spoken with firearm experts on that case, and they have agreed, and I know somebody else has spoke to different firearm experts who also agreed that the entrance and exit wounds are not consistent with the autopsy report, and the sizes are not consistent with the 9mm.
And yeah, there's no way Alex walked that far.
No.
He would have needed his inhaler, and I mean, there's just no way.
No way.
No.
When it's cold outside, you can't walk more than 2 feet without.
It's hard to breathe in the cold air to begin with. So yeah, go on, go lay down.
And just to Jennifer, Alex's mom, and Lisa, Aaron's mom, you know, I say this a lot, but we are committed to helping you guys find the answers on these cases. We're committed to helping these families find their missing loved ones, and we're not going to stop until answers are found.
And no, you may not have the puppy, Bobby.
No, that's not puppy.
We got lucky with Tex. We decided that we wanted to get a border collie because when I was a little kid, I had one, and we thought it would be cool for our kids to have one. And when we got him, he seemed very shy, but he opened right up to us, and he gets in trouble a lot, but he has been such a good dog. Thank you for mentioning Kansas Missing and Unsolved. It's much appreciated. Keep up your guys' great work.
Thank you, Ricky.
And the work you guys do over there, I mean, you guys are a huge inspiration to us, and thank you for everything you guys are doing.
Yep.
So with this, all I have found on Randy is a lot of red tape and closed files. Yes.
Oh yeah, you will. That's about yeah.
That's all.
One thing after another. So yeah.
And they've literally kept that case opened just so they wouldn't have to release files.
Yep.
What is the new law being passed about? Raven, if you're talking about Indiana, what that law does is if you have a case, and Alex's case is a perfect example, Alex's mom can go to the state police and fill out the paperwork, submit that to them, and they can come back in and completely reopen that case and reinvestigate it. So she let me know, Jennifer let me know she was filling out the paperwork and would be turning that in tomorrow. So hopefully they will jump in and reopen this.
What?
Ricky said you're welcome. That's too many cats. That's way too many cats, Bobby.
Bobby, you mean cats or catfish?
Yes.
Yes,
So are we,
Raven.
Raven.
And regardless of what comes with the state police, we will be doing everything. And, you know, I suggest that Jennifer try to get some of the larger national news outlets to jump on this case as well, just to add pressure to finding answers. But we will be continuing to do everything we can to help Jennifer get this case reopened. And Catfish Bob says he has skunks too. Do you need some?
No, I'm good.
You
We
keep
have
those
enough.
down there where you're at.
Yeah, we got
We have
enough
enough
critters.
around here.
Yeah.
See, we live in the city of Leavenworth. Down at the end of the street, it turns into county, and we have foxes, we have coyotes, skunks, everything come up through the yard.
Didn't you have a fox a couple days ago?
Yeah,
Run
we were
across
just
the
out on the
road.
porch and
Yeah.
it run across the road.
Well, you're welcome, honey. Hang in there, sweetheart.
And Raven, I'm not ashamed to tell you, there's been a lot of tears shed over on this side as well on that case. That one, it's just wrong every way you look at it. And I ain't ashamed to say I've cried on this case.
Oh, my goodness.
In many of these.
You've all caught me on camera crying about Alex's case. So, but yes, beyond.
And I don't know Jennifer personally other than talking to her about this case. I never knew Alex. But when you are working on a case and you're devoted to finding answers, you get to the point to where you actually feel connected to that person and to that family. And I can't turn that emotion off. I don't want to turn it off. That goes against what a lot of people are taught when they come to do this, but it's just, I cannot do that. Ricky, I watched your video on Crystal Kip, and it's a very lengthy, complex case. I'm working on the flyer for it, but there's a lot of information. Yes, Ricky, there is. And after I done that, I found some more stuff on it as well that we will be getting out in the next couple days. But that case, wow. And we're like 20, 30 minutes from Platte City, where the guy said that he disposed of her body. I saw where witnesses talking to law enforcement had this being in the woods around Platte City somewhere. And we will be going up and searching some areas on that case. I've got a couple places in mind already. but we will be searching those. Oh, wow, Catfish, that is awesome.
Hopefully you can get it out.
I wish I could find one up here like that.
Right?
Damien says, skunks, keep to yourself. Oh, we'll just send them all out to Damien's place. That'll be all right. Hope you don't mind, bud. And we know Damien personally, so if you think we pick on him quite a bit, he gives it right back, so it's all good.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
So, guys, is there anything else? Then we're going to go ahead and call this a night and jump off of here.
Because we got some looking up to do, don't we?
Yes. And please, if you know of any other cases in, I'll just say the whole state of Tennessee that you feel may be questionable along the lines of Aaron and Joshua Bohannon, and please let me know. At least just let me know the name of the person that's missing or deceased, and we'll take it from there. But we're trying to see how many we find links together. I feel there is corruption in this case, and this will help us determine how deep that goes.
Right.
What are your guys' thoughts on Gabby and Brian? Number one, regardless, I feel Gabby's never going to get justice. As far as Brian goes, I do question how they ruled partial skeleton remains as a suicide, but at the end of the day, you have two families that one of their children is no longer with them, and our hearts go out to the families regardless. They both lost a family member. It still has me, I'll say, confused on a lot of things.
Right.
I am looking into it a little bit more. I'll be honest, it's not one of my focals when it comes to the cases. But I am kind of here and there looking at some things on it because there's still a lot that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Nothing about that makes sense.
There's no justice for anyone in that case. So it's just going to be one of those cases we're going to look back on a couple of years from now and think, God, you remember that Gabby and Brian case? You remember how horrible it was and everything like that. So,
and Ricky with Kansas Missing and Unsolved did a shorter version of Crystal Kipper's case, but in the caption that's got all the information that I found. Awesome. Please go check out, again, Kansas Missing and Unsolved. The link is down in the descriptions. Catfish Bob says Brian and Gabby case will never be solved. Right. Catfish, I hope that's not the answer, but at this point. And Ricky says, I've never seen anything said about whether they recovered the gun that Brian used or not. Ricky, what I have seen is they have not recovered the gun, and they have said that the firearm that Brian's family is missing was not the firearm that was used in Brian's death. A fisherman did find a revolver that was weighted down out in the water, but there's been no word on if that firearm is linked to this or not.
Wow.
But as of right now, I don't believe they have recovered the firearm, which is interesting because if this was suicide, the firearm should still be there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or nearby, if anything, or you know what I mean? But yeah, it should be right there.
See, it just makes it even more confusing.
We also have to consider the fact that with all the rains, that area was flooded and underwater for a while. But it's
one of those long drawn out cases.
Yeah.
I mean, we might hear about it every now and then, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It's over. I just feel bad for both families. Bottom line.
Yeah.
I do, and just because I feel Gabby really deserves justice, I cannot fully let this case go how it is.
Right.
So we will still be looking into this and trying to make sense of what's there.
Right. I'd love to. I'd love to go down there and see everything or get as close as I can, because this is just one of them weird cases. So.
And a sad part is, they said they found partial skeletal remains. That means they did not find all of him.
Mm-mm.
There may still be.
Yeah.
Mm.
See? There's so much with this case that we need answers to.
I saw that, and they said the gun was found in a plastic bag of one of Brian's former employees.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
See, I did not have the rest of those details. I just knew that a gun had been found that was weighed down.
Damn.
And that's even concerning, because if the gun was found weighed down, especially in a plastic bag, how would he shoot himself in the head, put the gun in the weighted plastic bag, and discard it in the water?
Unless it was already in it and he pulled the trigger while it was in the bag. Because you can do that. If you really have an actual intent to shoot yourself, you will figure out a way to get it done.
You'd blow a hole in the bag and it would be gunpowder burns and stuff all in it.
See how confusing this is? It's just.
And then obviously law enforcement cannot release all of their details while they're searching on a active case like this.
What?
Dan says the gun was found before Brian was. Yes, it was.
Oh my goodness.
It wasn't, I don't believe it was very long before Brian was found, but the gun was found first.
Jeez.
That's just.
Wow.
It's just amazing at the camp.
At the campgrounds.
This may make me sound really stupid, but honestly, I don't see how they could realize it was gunshot to the head if they only had partial skeletal.
And
What did they have?
They had to have had the skull, at least part of it, because they identified him through dental records.
Okay, then did they mention that on TV when they said they found skeletal remains? Did they mention what kind?
They mentioned the dental records, but that was as far as they went.
Then it had to have been the skull. It had to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My question is, and nobody can answer it, why did Brian kill Gabby?
That'll never be answered.
Yeah, if you look at the way they were when they showed the cops there in the whole 9 yards, they fought a lot, but they made up just as fast as they fought. And I think just one thing led to another, and Brian just lost his mind, and that was it. So,
Dan, we may never know that. Absolutely.
That was my theory, that he just lost his cool too much and just ended it. So
I'll say the only person that knows
or by
is
accident.
gone, so
Yeah, and being it was manual strangulation.
They got into a fight. He grabbed her, choked her, and had to figure out what to do with her next. I think he panicked. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
That's just what keeps running through my mind. And I hate that. I hate that that's what I think. So, anyway.
But we will keep looking into that, and we will keep you updated on anything else that we do uncover on that case.
Right.
But I'm with you. I would love to go down there
Right.
and go to that reserve. And
Yeah. Anyway.
so I agree.
Hey,
This
Tamara.
makes sense. Who knows if they will be a meeting to prove what happened.
See, I wonder,
exactly.
Didn't I ask you that the other day? Now that they found Brian, now what? Is this over? Are they going to go any further and try and
Yeah, Dan will have to get a hold of me on
but
that.
see,
I'll be
that's-
right back.
That's what I wonder now.
Yeah. He'll be back.
Yeah.
That's just a case that I don't think it'll ever be solved, no matter how hard we try.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. The kids.
Sorry, the kids came
Yeah,
in.
the kids came in. Sorry, guys.
I just made it a big lump. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Anyway, so
Yeah, do you guys have any other questions you wanted to ask us about anything? We're still open.
the dog just dropped his bone. It sounded like a friggin' ball going through the floor. But
Yeah, Dan, we're going to have to get in contact. I'd love to hear your opinion on that case. Will you go searching for Crystal? Absolutely. We do have a couple locations in mind, just layouts, nothing just pinpoints to these locations, but areas I feel that will need to be cleared. But we will be searching for Crystal. The winning lotto numbers.
Sorry, Dan, I can't help you with that.
I don't know, can't prove it, but Brian is alive and mom and dad-in-law, you're involved in this mess.
I was kind of leaning toward that too, that he's not dead.
I can't rule that out because dental records are pretty easy to go in and change and swap out.
well, it's all confusing. Quit confusing us. That does make sense, though.
1 + 1.
No, that does make total sense, though. There's a big chance that he could be tucked away somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I also seen a theory that video where his parents were out at the flower bed and you saw something move there. There's a theory or rumor going around that his mom may have been burying the firearm there. But again, that is basically like Facebook rumor at this
So
point.
she was burying the. See, what I saw was a hand reaching up. That's what I. Still tastes.
The dog, the bounty hunter, still today saying that Brian is alive. Yeah, I personally absolutely cannot rule out that possibility.
Yeah.
There's just so little that is actually public that we could get our hands on.
Right.
You know, I know the elements where he was found, like the animals and the weather and blah, 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 all that crap. But everything just happened so quickly that it just, how did it happen?
It's like they
that
planned
fast?
They planned it out almost.
Yes.
This is today. This is what we got to do. Tomorrow, we've definitely got to get this done, and then this done, and then the next day done.
Like, boom.
So yeah.
They say, oh, we saw him this day, and the next day they're finding skeletal remains. It's like, wait a minute. That's super fast.
Yeah, there's
But-
a lot that we don't know, and we're not going to know. We're not going to have, we're not going to get the chance to know, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not going to stop us from trying to. From what has been said, Gabby was choked. So if they can tell that, why haven't they got any test to say if it was Brian's fingerprints?
Did they have any DNA? They didn't explain that with the medical examiner, did they?
He couldn't release that information, being it was an active investigation. So we cannot say that they don't have definite proof that it was Brian that choked her. They just couldn't release that information, being that it was an active open investigation.
Yeah. Because I was like, wait a minute now. Did they mention anything during the autopsy or the medical examiner?
Yeah, because a couple of the reporters brought that up a few times, and
Yeah.
he couldn't release any of that.
Yeah.
Hell, they didn't find no fingerprints of Brian's in the Mustang. The Mustang was his car that he drove to the reserve that his parents went and picked up and brought back to the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Megan had a look on her face like, what? What Mustang? Is there
Oh
something
gosh.
new?
There's so much about this. I can't keep it all straight no more.
That, and it's been a long weekend.
Yes.
My thought will blow your mind, but it would make sense, which is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, I
Yeah.
definitely got to hear this.
So I'm good.
Yeah.
Meg, anything else?
Yeah, I did my
Did you get you got everything down about your sale?
Yep.
Remember, guys, check out our website. Tons of stuff.
sale's still going on?
Don't pass up the chance to get a free t-shirt, guys. Come on.
In free t-shirt, next week's normal Sunday evening live feed,
Mhm.
we will do another t-shirt giveaway on that live feed.
Yeah.
So make sure to jump on that live feed and maybe win a shirt.
Yep.
So with that, we're going to jump off of here. You guys stay safe, and let's do everything we can to bring some more of these people home.
Have a great
Bye.
week.